The Tide boat will be included there. Let's give you the lanes. Lane 1 is the Winston Eagle. Lane 2, Miss Circus. Lane 3 is the Tide. And Miss T Plus will be in lane 4. So we've got some boats that had damage. As a matter of fact, as we take the green flag to start this race, only one of the boats was not involved in that first turn accident in the first heat of the day, and that is the Tide boat, George Woods. So let's see if he can put it to it. Lane 1 is the Winston Eagle. Lane 2, the pink and white boat, is the Circus. It looks like Circus slid into the Rooster Tail. It looks like he slowed down a little bit. He may have hit some of the water on the Rooster Tail from the Tide boat. He's under power, though, and he's got the pedal back down to the middle. So let's see how they come out of the turn. It looks like the T Plus boat is going to be the challenge on the outside to George Woods in the Tide. Winston Eagle now riding in third.
Well, he lost some ground, the Circus did. It looks like he slid over and almost collided and corrected at the last moment, but it cost him some speed. As we look at the T Plus coming around to complete lap number 1, his speed just a little over 128 mile an hour for the average lap.
We better remind everybody that this was the boat that was damaged and on the beach in the first heat. They've got that boat repaired now, and they've got the tape all battened down. In the restart of Heat 1A, you can actually see the tape flying loose on the hull of the boat. But Stephen David, with great confidence in his crew, is doing a great job on the course now. The backstretch in Miami, Winston Eagle now in third place. Mark Tate, the driver of that boat. In between those two, the Tide boat just went dead. The Tide boat went dead in the water. It does look, though, Jim, like he's trying to restart. We can see heat coming off the back of the boat.
Well, I'll tell you, that'll cost him second position as the Winston Eagle will move up, and the Circus will move up to third. So you have the leader is the T Plus. Second place is now the Winston. Third is the Circus, and the Tide is trying to restart, and I believe he's going to do it.
A good ride for Stephen David, a little bit loose as he comes down into the close turn. Now, this is an unusual turn. 1 and 2 on the Miami course are surrounded by a beach, so the water actually comes back off the beach, and it roughs it up. As you can see, Mark Tate power the Winston Eagle through. He bounced it a little bit as he came in, hitting those rollers coming off the beach.
130.1 mile an hour on lap number 2 for T Plus, so Steve David has kicked it up a little bit.
Well, there he's going to lap the Tide boat of George Woods. That boat went down in mid-race, but Stephen David clear ahead to the finish line. The checkered flag is out, and it's waving for him. Stephen David, in a boat that was damaged in Heat 1A, takes the win in Heat 2A. That's got to make him and his pit crew feel an awful lot better. We'll be back with more action from the RC Cola Unlimited Hydroplane Series, the Miami Budweiser Regatta, in just a moment.
Back here on Biscayne Bay in Miami, Florida, I'm Jim Hendrick along with Dick Crippen. Let's look at the results of Heat 2A just held. The winner was the T Plus. Winston Eagle second, Circus third, the Tide fourth. Let's go down to the winner's dock.
Steve, I know that had to make up a little bit anyway for what happened earlier.
Yeah, for this team, I mean, they rebuilt a boat that had run into the woods earlier at about 200. And I mean, the sponson was off, the rudder was bad, the trip had been proper shot. This T Plus team is just so awesome. And you get in that cockpit and you got all that energy, it's hard not to win.
We talked to Chip a little earlier when he won, and he said everybody kind of got together and realized that that first accident kind of sobered everybody else up to what they were doing, and I think it showed in this heat.
Yeah, I mean, these boats are going so fast now. You just got to be conscious of that, and it's just really difficult at 200 miles an hour to hold a perfect lane in a turn. That was a great race. I got to congratulate George Woods. He was really giving me a great race, and the Tide was for a couple of laps there, and wonderful guys to run against. You can run neck and neck with George, know it's a clean race, and know the best boat's going to win at that time.
In lane 1, it'll be DOC Ray Band, Miss Budweiser, and the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes boat. And look at this beautiful view of the Miami Marine Stadium area on Biscayne Bay. As they come around for the start, let's go back to Dick Crippen.
A great crowd on hand as they hear the roar of the Thunderboat, the one big boat with the piston engines, the DOC Ray Band. There is the green flag, and they are off and running. On the far outside is the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, Mike Hansen, but he's being challenged by the Miss Budweiser, and the Miss Budweiser, Chip Hanauer, in lane 2, takes it away. He has got himself the lead on the back stretch. But there's Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, again trying to come up on the outside. And again, we remind you, that boat owned by the city of Madison, Indiana. Not the city per se, but the citizens, some 13,000 strong. They do love that boat, and it is running very well this year. I expect some some big things from that Kellogg's Frosted Flakes boat. He switches to the inside lane.
As we look at the leader, Miss Budweiser, coming down to complete lap number 1, it's going to be a fast one, 1:35.539. And look at the way that boat is riding, Dick.
Jim, you've described it so many times to the fans that it's 9 square inches, the size of a man's handkerchief on either side of the boat, off the sponsons, the trailing edge of the sponsons, and the bottom half of the propeller. And a great shot like that from our Rusty Pelican camera. That's located right outside the Rusty Pelican restaurant here on Biscayne Bay. I want to thank Mike Reimers and his great staff as you look at another shot from that camera. They have been tremendous help to us here in Miami. There's the Frosted Flakes boat, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. What a paint job. I don't know whether the paint job made it go faster. I think it was the engine work, but it appears to be the paint job.
Well, that Rowley Tiger is pushing the Budweiser. He forced him in the first lap to go over 135 miles an hour. Now it seems like Mike Hampson is going to sit in the slot and take second place points.
He wants to get the points to move into the final heat of the day, which will determine the championship out here. Chip Hanauer now has himself an easy ride out in first place. Another great shot on the turns in 1 and 2 as the Frosted Flakes boat goes through for Kellogg's. There's the Miss Budweiser leading it all, and you saw him come out of a rooster tail. That was a rooster tail on the front stretch from the DOC Ray-Ban boat that you see right there. And again, we remind everybody, that's the only piston-powered boat in the field this race, and that is a lot of memory for a lot of the fans. The checkered flag is out. Chip Hanauer claims another victory here in Miami as he continues his trek toward the championship heat later this afternoon. Miss Budweiser first, Kellogg's Frosted Flakes second, DOC Ray-Ban third.